Introduction to the SQL from Unikaksha. So we have seen this data set called as a cricket data set, and we have implemented few of the database related activities, data manipulation on this data set. Now it's a time to explore something more in the same data set using some more terms, or using some more clauses, or using some more type of functions that we can use. So let us just move to our SQL window to explore the data set to its max. So this is our MySQL window. Let me just quickly show you the data. So select star from cricket data set. This is the data with which we are working, which is having the information of player, country, matches, number of sixes, number of innings, number of fours, number of hundreds, fifties, and so on. So this is the entire information consisting of the ODI cricket players playing since last 5 years. So we have seen few of the queries such as how to use and, or, not, and a different type of operators on the given data set. Now it's time to explore more in this data. Now it's time to check something called as a group by query. So for example, if I ask you to find out what is the summation of a scores by all the players, and in this way or in this question I want all the summation of runs should be there for Indian players, that should be represented differently. Then I want the next number which represents the summation of all the runs for the Australian players, and I want for the Pakistani players, and so on. That means I want to find out a total summation or the total sum of the runs, but this time I want to group my data as per the country name that I have in my data set. So let us just try how it should be implemented. So how this particular scenario, so we can write select, suppose say country. We just want a country to be displayed, and we want suppose say summation of runs from the data set, that is cricket data set. So we'll write the name of data set, and we want this information to be grouped by country. Let us just try to check what's the output. So as you can see, it's showing you the country India with the total summation of runs as 15789, followed by West Indies, England, and so on. So suppose you want to find out the average runs grouped by the country. So you can write something like this, select country. Because if you are not displaying country, it will be very difficult for user to understand that the given result is associated with which particular country. From cricket data set, that's the name of the data set we are working with. Again, we are going to group this information by country only. So as you can see, you are getting to see the value of the country, that's country name, and their average value of runs represented like this. If you want to find out maximum runs or the maximum innings for every country, then you can write something like this, select country, then you can say max of runs from the data set, that is cricket data set, which is grouped by country again. So these are the maximum runs played by the Indian players, West Indies, England, Pakistan, New Zealand, and so on. So this is basically how you can generate the answer using the group by. Now, after grouping, sometimes you want to filter your data after grouping as well. That means I want to find out the summation of the runs made by the players which belongs to the same country. That is nothing but like this particular, query that we have ran so far. But I want to display only those countries information whose value of summation is greater than say 10,000, or whose value of summation is greater than 12,000. That means after performing the summation, grouping by my data using country variable, whatever information that I will get, I again want to filter out that information. So in such cases, you can use one more clause called as the having. So I can write select country, comma, summation of runs from cricket data set, which is grouped by country, and we will say that having the value of summation of runs greater than 12,000. So India and England, these are the only two countries as per the information that we have in our corpus, having the value of summation of run when grouped by the country name, the summation is greater than 12,000. So this is basically how you can use this logic. Now suppose I want to find out the summation of runs, and whatever information I'll get, I want to arrange it as per the order, say descending order, so that the country which is having the highest number of runs would appear on the top and gradually the number of runs would decrease. And in that case, I can say select country and I want to display summation of runs from cricket dataset, which information is grouped by country. And we are saying that we want to arrange that information. So we'll use order by clause by summation of runs, and how we want to order is, so using decrementing order. That means the country which is having the highest number of runs would appear at the top and gradually the number of runs would decrease. This is basically how you can implement, your group by and having kind of clauses along with the order by in order to make something meaningful information out of your data. So I just hope these queries are, giving you a clear cut idea about how to use the combinations of the queries and so on. So if someone asks you to display the information of only those players, or let us say information of only those countries where the strike rate or the average strike rate of a players or strike rate of a players is greater than the average strike rate of the entire data set. So I just hope you understood the question. I repeat it one more time. You have to display the information in such a way that the information should be first grouped by the country information, and those particular observations where the value of average value of strike rate for that country is suppose say greater than the average of the strike rate, that you have to simply display to the user. So how to write the query for that? You'll say that select country in such a way that what you want to display. So you want to display the country as well as you want to display their suppose say average value of runs or strike rate. We're talking about strike rate here from the cricket data set, where we are going to group this information by country, and we want to display only that information. So we can say that having the value of score, that is strike rate score, greater than average value of strike rate. So you simply want to display the information of the players or information of the country and the average strike rate for that particular country from the cricket data set, where we are going to group our information using the country, and we are saying that the whatever is the grouped information you will get in that case, the average value of or the value of the strike rate should be greater than the average value of strike rate of that column. So that's basically the intention of running this query, or that's in order to solve this complicated task. We are going to divide that task into two subtasks. So in the first subtask, we are finding the average value of the strike rate from the cricket database that came out to be suppose say 90.73. And now we'll say that select country as well as the average strike rate from the data set, which is grouped by country, and you are going to add a condition having the value of SR, that is nothing but strike rate, greater than 90.7, or you can simply write 91. So this is basically the query that you are going to implement in order to get the information of all those countries which are having the strike rate greater than a certain value, that is nothing but the average strike rate made by that country. I just hope this particular query is clear. Whenever you run the query, this is basically how the output would look like. So these are the countries whose strike rate is, or average strike rate is greater than 91. So this is basically the idea uh, of how to use group by or group by with order by or group by with having or group by with any other condition that you want to specify in order to filter out the observations or in order to get the correct data manipulated by us. So I just hope you have understood the use of something called as a group by keyword, which is a very, very and very important keyword whenever we try to implement any database related activity. You can also call it as a clause, which is extremely important for any data manipulation activity. So in next session, we are going to see some more exciting topics related to the SQL. So I just hope you understood today's topic. Stay tuned for the next topic. Thank you.